Alright, we are finally hitting itemized deductions, or for basically our Schedule A, which of course I'll probably pop up Schedule A so you can see exactly what we have at the end of this part. But we'll go ahead and hit the first one, which is always at the top, and that is medical expenses. Woohoo! So, these are always the first ones that we do see, and we are allowed a deduction for medical expense paid for ourselves, spouses, and dependents. Unreimbursed medical expenses can only be deducted to the extent that they exceed currently 7.5% of our AGI. This percentage does change throughout the years, so always keep an eye on this. Usually it's been 77.5% or 10%. Okay? Now, the formula for calculating the deduction for medical expenses is as follows. One, we got the prescriptions, medical and drugs, insulin, doctors, dentists, hospital medical insurance premiums, other medical dental expenses, such as lodging, transportation, eyeglasses, contact lenses, etc., less our insurance reimbursements. Again, we cannot deduct that we actually received income to reimburse these. Subtotal, so forth, and then we take 7.5% of our adjusted gross income. Whatever is in over that is our medical deduction. Now, does that mean we actually get to deduct that? Well, it still has to beat our standard deduction. This is the difference between standard versus itemized. This is just one of the fights that we get. Now, there is a lot of different things that go on with medical, so let's see what we can qualify for. Now, we can basically have prescription, medical, and drugs, and insulin. Okay, fees for doctors, dentists, nurses, and other medical professionals. So this is including your copays. Okay, hospital fees, hearing aids, dentures, prescription eyeglasses, and contact lenses. Okay, again, prescription. Okay, medical transportation. So include the amounts paid for taxi, buses, airplanes, etc. Includes out-of-pocket expenses for gas if personal automobile is used. Include parking and toll fees. Again, we also have a standard mileage rate of 17 cents per mile. Doesn't really do much unless you're really traveling far. Okay? But we can do it. So lodging. We can take about up to $50 per night per person if we have to basically stay somewhere. Medical aids, crutches, wheelchairs, and guide dogs. Birth control prescriptions. Acupuncture. Psychiatric. Also, I can't say it. But psychiatric. There we go. Psychiatric care. Medical insurance premiums. This includes Medicare premiums, includes premiums paid for qualified long-term insurance. Again, limits could be based on age. Certain capital expenditures deemed medical necessary by doctors, e.g. supporting railings, medical necessary swimming pools, bathtub that has to be medically necessary, anything that we actually have to build to keep us good that was prescribed by a doctor. So yes, you can deduct a swimming pool if it's medically necessary. Don't see that very often, but it does happen. I think I've done a hot tub before that was medically necessary. Nursing home care for the chronically ill. Now, certain medical expenses that are not deductible. This includes cost of travel for general improvement of health, cost of weight loss programs, cost of marriage counseling, no, cosmetic surgery if unnecessary, Only if it's necessary we can deduct it. And that is one that gets audited pretty good. Non-prescription medicines. So you cannot take over-counter drugs as a deduction. Drugs purchased illegally from abroad. I like how they went specific from abroad. So, but no. If you purchase any drugs illegally, you cannot deduct it. Meal cost on trips for medical care. Ew. Okay? Now, I will say this before I get into probably a calculation one that we got going on. The IRS basically states it doesn't matter how the medical bills are paid. You can pay it by your cash, a loan, or other ways, because technically credit cards are still no loan. It's just a different type. But as long as the medical bill is paid in the year that you're doing the deduction, you can deduct. Okay? And believe me, you can deduct again for basically anything that's not part of this non-deductible list. So, for example, I had a client that did IVF treatment, and basically under these precautions, it is fully deductible within the certain limitation. Again, having that 7.5 over AGI. So, who knows? It's always good to research. I will tell you this about medical expenses, because again, there's always going to be those rare occurrences that you just don't know if it's going to be approved or not. But as long as it's definitely not part of this list, you know that you probably have a fair shot of being deductible. So, example time. Example time. Read the slide and see what we got. I don't know. Anyway, during the year, we have Frida and Jose. They paid the following medical expenses. Contact lenses, $120. Facelift for cosmetic purposes, $2,900. Doctor bills, $1,600. And medical insurance premiums of $4,800. Okay. They also drove 260 miles to see a cardiologist in July in their personal automobile. Their insurance company reimbursed Frida and Jose $1,000 during the year for the medical expenses. If their AGI is $31,200, calculate their medical expense deduction. Okay, we all know the next slide has the answer, but I actually want to do this with y'all. So let's pop up our calculator, move from the previous parts, and let's go through this. First off, what medical can we take? Well, I can probably take the contact lenses, the doctor bills, and the medical insurance premiums. Okay. I cannot take the facelift because it was for cosmetic surgery and it wasn't a requirement by medical standards. Now, if they prove it that a doctor said this was a requirement due to something that happened with the face, we may take it, but because it's for cosmetic, no. Done. Okay. We also need to add to this amount the mileage. Now remember in the prior slide, they took medical mileage, but they multiply it by 17 cents. So we get an extra $44. Okay, so right now we're looking at about 6,564. I'm just going to put it like that. Okay, insurance came. They reimbursed us $1,000. So we dropped that $1,000. Okay, so that's our medical expense right now. It's $5,564. Next, we need to calculate how much basically is the limit before we get to take it. So remember, 7.5%. So 31,200 times 0.075 means we have to have medical above 2,340, which in case we do. Yay! So we take the medical expenses we had minus 2,340, comes out about 3,224 for our actual deduction that we get on our Schedule A, which is awesome. Let's see how well we did. Boom. Right there on the money. Again, there's our calculator. So again, contact lenses, doctor bills, medical insurance premiums, transportation, less that insurance reimbursement. And then there's our 7.5% of AGI. And they calculate right here. Let me blow it up for y'all. And of course the mileage. Okay. So again, there's a lot that can be deducted. You'll be surprised how much we can go with. But again, really depends on how much we actually pay. Mostly with medical insurance premiums, again, that one we have to look for. Basically, it's like if we paid out of pocket kind of thing, items on those, but we can take whatever premiums we do pay. It's nice, it's fun. So, there we go. We're going to conclude this itemized version of medical expense, and then we're going to move on to the next one, which deals with taxes and itemized deductions. Mostly like state sales tax, those kind of items. But I'll see you for that one. So, again, if you have any questions, especially related to medical right now, in this part, you know what to do. And I'll see you for next time.